Dragi partizanovci, dobrodošli u novu sezonu Partizanovog podcasta. Moje ime je Ognjen Radosavljević, a danas imam sa mnom veoma zanimljive goste ovde na pripremama u Sloveniji. Veliki pozdrav dakle sa slovenačkog Pohorja, a sa mnom su, imaćete priliku da ih upoznate i da čujete nešto više od njih, pomoćnici šefa stručnog štaba Igora Duljaja, Bruno Fidalgo i Valeri Zudas. Guys, first of all, welcome to Partizan's podcast. This will be a first opportunity for Partizan fans to hear a little bit from you. They've been just reading in the newspaper, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure.
And first question is, what did you know about Partizan before you came here?
Of course, we know the club. It's such a big club. It's new all over the world, and in Portugal. And I spoke in my case. We face a lot of times. The Portuguese team face a lot of times Partizan in Europe. I remember the duels that the Partizan make it with Porto, for example, in Europe, and it's such a big history. So for us and for me, it's a big pleasure to be here in such a big club, and I'm really glad that I'm here, and I hope that I can help this club to continue to make history.
Valeri, and in Italy, what do they say about Partizan?
Okay, nobody needs to present Partizan because every football fans know, so there was no need to show. Of course, I know the club, such a big history. I faced the club. I was lucky to face the club this year. As I enter in the stadium, I can never forget that atmosphere. So it's huge club, and as Bruno said, it's one of the best clubs in Europe that really made the history of the football. A lot of big players came from Partizan, so we are really happy to stay here.
You both are young, but you both have a very big experience. And I saw your CV, Valeri, and it's impressive. You've been in Honved, in Sheriff, when you kicked us out of Europe, in Hajduk Split, in many different teams.
Yes, I was lucky to experience this is the ninth country which I train. I have possibility to work with the coaches with different nationalities, so that live the football in different ways, that live the sport in different ways. So I was really, I was lucky. Now, as I came in Partizan after speak with Igor, he really convinced me. It was really one pleasure to be part of this, because it's really now the club is in a transition period, but they're trying to rebuild something and renew and to bring again Partizan in the position where it should be. So to reach Europe again, to be better than the fourth position that we achieved last season. So it's really something that we can do. We are working hard on it. And
you graduated in Johan Cruyff Institute. You also been in Barca Innovation Hub. It all sounds very interesting for football fans.
Yes, I have like this. I like to be like multidisciplinary. The area where that can help me to be better coach, a better person also. So I like to study even from other area and different subjects as well.
Bruno, you've been in Vitoria Guimarães, a very interesting club that making some very good success in Portugal and in Europe.
Yeah, it was a big pleasure to pass in that club. Vitoria is a very special club, incredible supporters. They have a big atmosphere in the stadium, so is a club that it will be always something special for me. It will be some connection with the club that I really appreciate. It was a very important challenge for me. At the beginning, I start in the B team, second team of Vitoria, working with the youth guys, and the project it was to pass that guys to the first team, and we reached that. And after I passed through this process also. I go to the first team, and I really enjoy the club and all the process involved in there. So it was a very, very good experience.
And how did you both guys come to Partizan? This is very interesting questions for the fans. How did the coach approach you? How did he present you this project?
Igor knew some Portuguese staff. He worked with them at Shakhtar. I think Igor already said that in the press conference, but it was like that. He was trying to connect with someone to arrive here and help him in the analysis, but at the same time on the field. And he want a person with that profile. And he talked with that staff. They recommend me. I didn't knew them personally, but they knew my job, and we matched in our ideas. And they recommend me to Igor. We spoke. We thought that we have similar ideas, similar way to see the game. And for that reason, I came, and I'm really very, very happy to work with him.
It's always about networking. So the time Igor needed one more assistant, and he worked in Shakhtar. He asked to one Italian guy at the time that was the Zerbi there, that was his assistant manager in Shakhtar. Now he's currently assistant manager in Juventus. Now he's coaching by himself in Italy. And then he said my name, then we spoke, but I was really glad because I didn't know Igor before. Then there wasn't a friendship before, so we really connected by this football knowledge, and we speak, we discuss about what can be, what are they doing, and he really convinced me to come, and I was really glad I found him, Bruno. They're doing great job. We complete each other. We always share idea. We always want to push more the players and try to be really the best for the club. So really, I'm glad.
So when you met Coach Duljaj, your football philosophies, they were kind of matching, and this was like best recommendation.
Yes, we all didn't know before, and we just share a common idea of football, and that's why we are together here.
So what is exactly your role in Partizan and this on a field, obligations and stuff like this?
As Bruno, we are both assistant manager, and we split the job. We organize it now. I will take care about the out of possession phase, so about the defense, and they will take care about the football style in possession, so in attack. So until now we organize like it, but of course we are a staff that we share and do everything together. So any ideas is always welcome, and we complete our work every day. So it's not just a specific that.
I suppose you know how good the player was, Coach Igor Duljaja.
Yeah, of course. When I was smaller, I saw him play. So now I'm now here with him in his stuff. So I'm really glad. I'm really proud of it.
You told me these Partizan matches in Champions League against Porto, against Real Madrid, Marseille. Coach was amazing in these matches. Some say they put David Beckham and other players in a pocket.
No, really impressive. I watched his exhibition against Real Madrid, against Zidane, and the worst that Zidane had to him, it was a big compliment and represent a lot of things. And we're still watching in his quality, but it's good to watch his games, and I really enjoy to watch it because his style of play always still represent our way of playing. Also, you want to represent through our ideas what he was as a coach. And this is very important because he was a very talented guy with a very aggressive and disciplined attitude, and that is what you want.
And how is it to work with Coach Duljaj? Because he's very calm guy, very relaxed, but on a football field I see in trainings he can be very energetic, real leadership.
Yeah, he's a very demanding guy. most of the times on the field, of course, but after he's a great person, and I think he's also important to be a great person, to pass some values, and I think Igor is one of the best guys that I met in football so far. So I'm very, very glad that we can work with him.
How would you describe it, Valeri?
Igor is he immediately as I came, he made me feel at home. So really a warm welcome from him. He's helping in everything, even outside the pitch. So he's really taking care of the people around him, and this is really good because not everybody are like this. And I know I work with a lot of managers, so this is something that I really appreciate. Then he's full of energy, he's calm, but he has this leadership he had as a player. Of course, he passed now as a coach. He's a natural leader, so it's really enjoyable also to work together because he gives space to everyone, he listens to everyone, then he makes his decision, but he's really open to listen to everyone.
Now I must ask you, fans would like to know, how do you see Partizan right now? It's the beginning of preparations, we're still waiting for some new players, but how would you describe this group of players that you have, especially compared to the teams where you worked before, for example?
Now, as we were discussing this before, Partizan now is in a transition period, so the roster is still not complete. We are in preparation. We are still waiting for someone to come. But this mix that with the young players, also with the help of talented player that has experience, that have big history, as Natko, for example, can really be the one that can push this player to give their best. This can be really important because we face also European competition. And we know that is a different kind of football, different than the leagues, different demandings both physically and tactically. So it's really important to have this experienced player in the roster as him, and that can help the young one also to develop.
Bruno, you've been here for a few months, and now these big changes. 8 players left, 5 players came. We expect more players to come. Do you expect Partizan to be better this season?
For sure, for sure. Last season we passed through a difficult period. It was very difficult to put our ideas at the beginning because we are playing in 3 days, and we didn't have the time to renew the mentality and to put the new things. It was very, very hard. But at the end we start to have good feelings. We start to play better, to be organized. We can see the picture that we want on the field, and that is a good sign of improvement. We see it also in the results. We finish well. In the last 5 matches, we were the best team. In the playoffs, during the playoffs, we were the second best team. Of course, we want more, but we needed to do this step by step. Of course, we need different players. We'll try to find them to improve, but we believe in our squad and the players that are still there.
Valeri, I must ask you about this Conference League matches, Partizan and Sheriff. You were assistant coach at that time in Sheriff. How did it all look from your perspective?
When I played this winter against Partizan, was a team that was in a difficult moment. But in Europe, especially these kind of games that you have two legs, home and away, is really hard to face this kind of club. So nobody wants to take Partizan in the draw. So it was really a great victory at that time for us. But when it was the draw, we weren't happy to face Partizan. And then I remember the stadium and everything. This is something that I really was impressed by. The atmosphere of the fans are fantastic. So, but okay, in Europe we will. I think Partizan is one club that should perform in Europe every season at least, because it's part of his history. So we will try this season to achieve this again.
I asked coach recently, now that you are here, did you tell him some weakness from Partizan that you saw? And he said, we had conversation, but I will not say anything in detail to media.
Yeah, of course. But then was also a different team, different period. So now Now is pre-season, is new season.
And your opinion, guys, about Partizan's youth academy and these young players, because as you probably know, Partizan's youth academy has always been in top 5 in Europe, usually just behind Ajax.
Yes, he's one of the best academy in Europe as well. We all know this. Every time one of the player, more than one player in Partizan go to play in the top 5 leagues. So I think that he will repeat this because all the organization, the structure of the club that really take care of this part. This is something that is worldwide recognized. It's something that the club can be proud of it. So many talents, of course, played also in Italy. Many big players in my league. So I always keep an eye open on what Partizan has every season. Because
Who is personally your favorite Serbian player who plays now in Italy? Maybe Sergej, maybe Vlahovic.
Sergej, I cannot say because he's in the opposite team. I'm not fan of that team, but yeah, Matic, of course. No, Milenkovic. There are a lot of Serbian players every time they compete at the highest level in Europe. So.
And Bruno, what do you think about our young players? We just saw some of them walk past, and I see real talent in them.
Yeah, and I agree. We have a lot of talent here, and we need to explore them and try to reach the correct environment to put them on the field. I think, as Valerio said, we can't depend just on them, but we need to try to create an atmosphere ideal to put them on the field to them grow.
And what's your, let's say, like this football philosophy? How do you like your teams to play on a field? They say usually that now it's more about these physical preparations, that all teams need to run to be strong. It's not a beautiful game that more as it used to be.
Yeah, here I think we talk as a staff. We like to have the ball. This is our main objective. I think we need to relate the behaviors and the values of the people, the Partizan people, and bring it to the pitch. This is very important, and we try to do it, putting some principles, static principles that we can connect to that. So we want to have the ball. We want to press high to have the ball. We want to have a very, very aggressive organization. Defensive organization to put the press high on the pitch, to recover fast the ball, to have the ball, and after with the ball to connect, to be near to arrive together in the front with a lot of people, and after we can react after the loss to have again the ball fast as we can. So we want to be dominant on the pitch, but we need to understand that we don't play alone. And we need to always look to the opponent. But as you said, it's very important now in the football to we know that we have talented players. We need talented players, but here in Partizan, especially here, we need workers, we need fighters, and we need humble players that can connect that talent to that values. And after that, we can create a beautiful idea.
Valeri, coach said if you want to play fast, you need fast players. If you want to play aggressive, you need aggressive players.
Yeah. Of course, as Bruno said, we are on the same line on this. Partizan is a club that needs to lead the game, because of the history, but also the important is what the fans demand, that the team, as a team, the spirit, the atmosphere has to be that never give up, to fight until the end. So this is something that we really coach every day in every session, to go over their limit to the guys, and they are doing great. They are doing great now. So maximum effort from their side. They really are performing well. Then from my Italian side, I also don't like to concede goal. I really hate to take the goal. I kill myself if I take a goal. So yeah.
But I saw in your CV that your teams usually consider the least goals in the league.
All the team in the top position in Euro, in top 3 position in Euro, are the best defense in the league, and this allows you to be in the top positions, to not concede the goal. Imagine if you concede 5, 6, 7 goals less, you are maybe 2-3 position up in the table, and this is cost money, it costs Europe, it costs points. So it's something that we need to work on it. The guys are doing great, so will be interesting to see.
Coach Duljaj often emphasizing how important is healthy diet. I also heard that he kind of cut on cakes and stuff, that he puts a lot of effort for players to eat healthy food, to have great work ethics.
But he's still an athlete, so he really take care of this first. He's the first example. So what he eats, what he trains, so he try to pass this to these guys, to these new generations, and it's really something important. Of course, you cannot perform well without eating well, resting well. Not only about the training.
Bruno, I guess you can only agree.
Yeah, of course. Every detail counts.
And just one last question. You know how it's in Serbian league, in Partizan, you must win every game. It's not like in some regular club, and you can sometimes win, sometimes draw. In Serbia, kind of you need to win every game if you want to be a champion. You are ready for this pressure?
I love it. I really love it. I enjoy it. But we need to be ready. We need, and for sure we will give our maximum to be ready, because a club like Partizan deserve it, and I think we will do it.
In Italy, I guess pressure is normal thing. So
Okay, if we stay in this club, and if we don't want pressure, we go to play igralište. So it's something that we love it, and is also adrenaline, is something that push you to do your best. So we are here for that.
thank you guys very much. Wish you all the best, and with your help to bring title back to Partizan.
Hvala.
Hvala vama. Dragi partizanovci, imali ste priliku da upoznate Bruna Fidalga i Valerija Zudasa, a mi se nadamo da ćemo uz njihovu pomoć i šefa Duljaja, naravno, doći do titule. Hvala vam na pažnji, hvala što ste pratili Partizanov podcast. Nastavite da pratite sadržaj sa priprema Partizana na Pohorju. Biće još puno zanimljivih razgovora i intervjua specijalno pripremljeni. Hvala vam.